Hello and good evening, everyone. I'm Josh.
And I'm Ian. Welcome to The Nightly from Hatch, where your late night thoughts go to rest.
Ian, it's so nice to have you with us tonight on The Nightly. We've been bringing in so many fun, cool, interesting guests into the Pillow Fort this summer. And this week I am joined by my friend, the wonderful podcaster, Ian Chillag, who you may know from his podcast, Everything is Alive, and How to Do Everything with NPR. And he's also a producer on Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me, where we work together frequently. Ian, welcome to The Nightly.
It's so nice to be here. I was hoping, given the format of the show, that we might record it spooning one another.
We can try.
I feel like just audio-wise, it's a challenge.
Yeah. I feel like we would probably pick up in each other's microphones, or at least the Little Spoon would pick up both Big Spoon and Little Spoon's audio.
That must be the reason most radio shows don't record in spoon format.
Yeah.
Must be that.
Honestly, I don't know of one that does. And it makes me feel like there's not enough experimentation going on.
That's right. Right. I was in Chicago last week for a Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me event. And I used to live in Chicago, and I used to go to the zoo almost every day because I would run to work. And the zoo was halfway between the Wait, Wait office and my apartment.
Wow.
But I haven't lived there for 10 years, and I got to go through the zoo again. And when you go to the zoo regularly, it stops feeling like you're going to see the animals, and it starts feeling like you're going to visit them. Like you have this like regular relationship. Like, let me see what the lion is up to today. Let me see what the polar bear's into right now. It's a nice feeling. It, like all those things that maybe we feel a little weird about zoos sometimes, when you go enough and you have a relationship with the animals, those things go away, and it only feels good.
Was there an animal or a set of animals, a group of animals that you were like most regularly checking in on and found most like pleasant to check in with in the morning on the way to work?
Absolutely. There was, so that zoo, so I would, like I said, I would run there in the, like all year round, and Chicago gets, so cold and gray and dark in the winter. And some days when it would have been 10 degrees for 6 weeks, and then it would suddenly be just above freezing, and you would go and the flamingos would be out, and it felt so out of place. Like that much color felt so out of place. And that was always such a nice feeling, like something so optimistic, like when they turn on the color in Wizard of Oz. It's like, yes, something, we are here. But my favorite animal there was, there's an enclosure with African wild dogs, which the thing I liked about them at that zoo was most animals, you will look at them and they will do their thing, and maybe they will notice you're there, but for the most part, they don't care. But the African wild dogs make you feel like you're the one on display. Like they run to the edge of the enclosure and they look at you like with this look on their face, like, what is that thing? What is it doing?
And like, what was your reaction to their scrutiny? And follow-up question, did they ever seem to recognize you as like one of the regulars?
I definitely felt like, I mean, it's probably that's what I wanted, but it definitely felt like, oh yeah, hey, Ian's back. How's Ian doing? But like, it only feels good. It feels like that must be what it feels like to be a kind of minor celebrity, where you get a little bit like of a second look, not so much that they're in your business, but like, that guy, yeah. Oh yeah, I know that guy. I've seen him somewhere before.
It does, like, it has, what you're describing sounds like kind of the same feeling of encountering a neighbor who you don't really know, but you have kind of like a refillable small talk bucket with them, Yeah. Where you're like, oh, we're all part of the fabric of this community. We're not too much in each other's business, but like, I recognize your place here and you recognize mine.
Yeah. I will never ask that man about anything except the New York Knicks, but I will always ask him about the New York Knicks.
Of course. I grew up in a small town in Massachusetts that had, for the size of the town, like a pretty substantial zoo. It wasn't like the main Boston area zoo, but I think it was, I mean, in my memory, it was comparable because it was in town, but like, I don't know if it was vastly smaller and I'm just like inflating it because of proximity and a sense of importance. But we had in my small Massachusetts town, the notable feature, the best enclosure was probably either the mountain goats because they would climb up a little rock face. It was very fun to watch them. They're very
Cool.
spry. Or the like otters splashing around. That was really fun. But the most striking and I think memorable animal that lived in my town was we had a polar bear for years in suburban Massachusetts.
You made it sound like maybe the polar bear was not at the zoo. He just had an apartment in town. Okay. Okay.
No, no, no. Living at the zoo. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Living at the zoo. He didn't have like an apartment and ran a little business. But yeah, I forget whether male or female polar bear. I remember the name Major. Major was as Ursa Major. Um, and it was always like very, I think, kind of a joke amongst everyone in town of like, have you seen our polar bear that we have on display? Like 9 miles outside of Boston. It felt like a pretty, I'm sure they kept the temperature correct in the enclosure, but like a very funny place for a polar bear to be.
Yeah, that polar bear has no idea how he ended up there.
Yeah, for sure. And possibly no idea like what life is like for other polar bears.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, and I imagine there are no mirrors in the polar bear enclosure. The polar bear may not even realize it's a polar bear. It may
Right.
just think it's one of you. It's
For
just a
sure.
Massachusetts guy.
Yeah. It's just like a big furry Red Sox fan.
We saw when I was at the zoo last week in Chicago, the polar bear that they have one of those things where you can see it on land, but then you can go below and see it underwater.
Oh,
And
fun.
it was swimming back and forth, and it's so beautiful. And that's an animal where if you know nothing about it, you would think it wants you to get in there with it. Like
Oh, yeah.
everything, the proportions are so childlike with like big paws and a big head, and there's something sweet about their faces. Which I guess if you are a thing that likes to kill everything, that's a good quality because it draws things near you. But there's something so tempting about it.
I know. And it kind of like, especially in the water, it doesn't move in through the water in like an aggressive way. It's kind of like boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom,
Yeah.
bobbing along and
Yeah.
swimming in a way that you're like, oh, I bet it's nice in there.
Yeah. It looks like it's on vacation when it's in there.
Totally. You get why the polar bear is such a like iconic image of like kind of a friendly Christmas time figure.
Totally. And so we looked at it under the water, and then we rounded the corner after we watched it for a while. And the first thing you see when you round the corner at the Lincoln Park Zoo in Chicago is a Coca-Cola vending machine. And it just felt
Wow. It's a perfect sales pitch.
like, did they know that seeing a polar bear, I would start salivating for ice cold Coca-Cola?
Totally. It is an incredible, like, immersive marketing experience.
Well, I hope the polar bear gets a cut.
They better. They deserve it. They deserve some extra salmon for that work as a brand ambassador.
So I understand we have a caller on the line with a question. Do you want to introduce yourself for us?
Yeah, hey, my name is Jacob. My question is for you guys. What do you think is the fastest animal you can beat in a 1 mile race?
Oh, that's an
Wow.
incredible question. Ian, you're a runner.
I am. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So it's 1 mile, and are we just thinking about speed, or are we thinking about temperament? Like a cheetah's very, very fast, but I just imagine that it doesn't have a long attention span, so it's gonna want to take breaks. But if so, should we factor in personality as we take on this question?
I think yes, because if we're factoring in our own personalities, it makes sense to factor in the animal's personality too.
Yeah, you may also want to take breaks like the cheetah.
Yeah. Well, and I think here, because we're talking about an animal, so I don't think they get like a jockey. You know what I mean? I think it's just starting line, go.
Oh yeah, okay.
Unless Jacob, unless you have other stipulations, I would love to hear if you have any additional context.
I mean, I was the way I was thinking about it, because I was thinking about this. I got invited to one of the worst things you can get invited to as an adult who doesn't run, which is to participate in a 5K.
Oh, sure.
And so I've been running recently, and I have a doodle, I have a dog, and I've been trying to see if the dog can come in and run with me. And the short answer is no. My dog likes running for about 500 feet,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's like from that Disney movie, it just goes squirrel and tries running off to the side.
Sure.
So I'm trying to picture, okay, if I could get my dog to focus,
Okay.
could I beat it over a mile? I think I can beat a doodle in a race. If we're talking other dogs like a greyhound, I think a greyhound.
Greyhound's very fast.
Yeah. But the thing I like about a greyhound, whenever you see a greyhound in its civilian capacity, when it's just walking around as a pet, you get the sense that they absolutely, the last thing they want to do is run. They
Mhm.
want to lie down all the time. So a mile feels like a long way. I read once that a wolf, which I guess is maybe the closest wild animal to the doodle you have,
Mm-hmm.
a wolf can run 30 miles an hour for 12 miles without stopping, or 12 miles an hour for 30 miles without stopping. And either way, that the wolf is going to beat me in the race.
That's an incredible feat of stamina. 12 miles an hour is 5-minute miles for 30 miles. So that's outrageous.
Yeah.
I think you have to cross off a large swath of the animal kingdom here. Like any savanna animal, horse, zebra, gazelle, like all of those immediately off the table.
Yes.
None of those I think I'm even coming close to. But then there's some other ones where it's like, they say I'm from Florida originally. I know an alligator is fast, but an alligator is fast for a really short distance when it really wants to eat you. Over a mile, I'm outrunning that it has, those legs are too tiny. It's not getting anywhere close to me.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think I could probably beat an alligator, especially like if we're talking, because I think if I started running and an alligator were chasing me, it might be able to run me down before it got tired. But if we're just side by side, kind of cordoned off from one another, where I'm not an enticement culinarily for this alligator, I think I have a better chance.
I picture you and the alligator, each in your own lane, each chasing something you want to eat.
Oh, that's good.
So the alligator, there's another human, and then so what's gonna get you to run your fastest mile, do you think?
I think it would be not necessarily something I want to eat, but like a thirst quenching beverage out ahead of me. Like an iced coffee, I think would be exactly like I would run towards an iced coffee for a mile very quickly, knowing that was at the end. Because I think if it was like, like a big turkey leg, like a cartoon seeing a mirage on a desert island, I'd be like, that does not seem appealing right now. Ian, what do you think?
I think,
what is your starting animal that you're like, I know I'm faster than this one. Maybe I could do a faster one.
If I need to guarantee the victory.
Yeah.
I think I can run 12 miles an hour for 1 mile. I think I can do that.
Okay.
I can do that.
So you could do a 5-minute mile for 1 mile.
Yeah, but no further.
No further.
That's going to be my max. I do. You mentioned the doodle chasing a squirrel. I do think a squirrel versus man 1-on-1 for 1 mile. I think that's going to be a good race.
I've never seen, I wonder how far a squirrel likes to run, because I've only seen him kind of go along a power line. We're talking hundreds of feet at a time, but I bet they've got more capacity in them if they need to unleash it.
Yeah. Huh. It's just so hard to imagine. It feels like we're the only species dumb enough to do this for pleasure.
Right, and not for survival in one way or another, escaping or chasing prey.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is just like the hubris of man either. I feel like if you put me in separate lanes from a gorilla over 1 mile, I think I beat the gorilla.
Interesting.
How is it? Do you think the gorilla runs on its two little legs and it's all puffed up in the chest, or is it doing like the knuckle?
I think the knuckles are involved. I'm picturing the knuckles involved.
That's got to be so much energy. I don't think they can keep that up for a mile for at a fast speed.
Yeah, I bet gorilla. I was thinking honestly, where I started was chicken. I was like, I think it would be fun to race a chicken.
They should reserve one lane at the Olympics for something from some non-human. Just like in the 100 meters, it's the 8 fastest people alive and one chicken. I think that would be so fun to watch.
They did briefly. Do you remember in like, I think probably the early aughts, they did those like man versus animal TV specials where it'd be like could a guy drag an airplane or something farther than an elephant? or like how many people does it take to do that faster than an elephant? And those were like they did a couple, they were like extremely strange. And I think after you got past like speed and strength, it was hard to figure out roughly equitable competitions where you're like, we can't have them like play chess against each other.
Yeah. I just like knowing so many runners, being a runner, knowing so many runners. I just worry about one of the animals getting way too into it. Mm-hmm. Like an armadillo who just will never stop talking about the fact he's training for a marathon.
Yeah. Kind of a relentless runner, armadillo.
Yeah. Like, lion, you actually need to be hunting wildebeest for your family. Just maybe don't run today.
Yeah, we don't care about your Strava statistics, lion. Okay. I think I'm trying to think of like a faster animal than a chicken, because I'm a slow runner. I'm not a good runner at all. So I think chicken, and I'm trying to think if there's anything faster.
If we put you in the Aesop fable, do you think you're beating the tortoise and the hare? Are you winning that 3-person race?
Okay, here's the thing. I think yes, because I know I'm faster than a tortoise and I'm more competitive than a hare. So for sure, I'm winning that. Although if a hare has learned from their previous mistake in the initial tortoise race, I might be cooked.
That story, by the way, has done more to harm track and field in the United States than any other. Because what you learn is slow and steady does not win the race. Really, really, really fast and steady wins the race.
Right. You can have two good qualities.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, yes, pace yourself, but that pace has to be very, very, very fast if you want to win the race.
Yeah. Well, especially like there's all these running metaphors and sayings that invoke slowness as virtue, right? Where people go, hey, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And you're like, marathon runners also run really fast. Not as fast as sprinters, but faster than like normal walking for sure.
That's all the people on the podium telling that to everyone behind them, being like, no, you guys are fine back there. No, don't. This metal is so heavy. You really don't want this gold tacky. It's out of, you don't want
it's a psyop by the medal winners. It's psychological warfare.
Yeah, it's a marathon, not a sprint. But is there a third option? I don't want to do either of those things.
It's just kind of a jog.
I think that's just a drive.
Yeah, it's a drive. It's a drive, not a marathon or a sprint. You actually go really fast and it expends very little energy. I was going to say, Jacob, I did once hold a gold medal and it was heavier than I expected. And I was expecting it to be kind of heavy. This was through Ian. This is at a Wait, Don't Tell Me recording in Bloomington. Were you there, right?
I put it on.
You put it on.
It was Lily King.
Lily King, the swimmer.
The Olympic swimmer was our guest, and she brought her gold medal. And I remember she brought it out, and everyone at the same time, you could see them wanting to ask, can I put it on?
She was so
but
gracious.
No one could do it. Yeah. She's like, she volunteered it. She said, you can wear it if you want. And all of us did.
I just held it because for some reason, this is like going back to my Massachusetts upbringing. I was like, well, anyone can hold a medal. That's just, but to wear it, I didn't earn that. I just showed up in the room where the medal was. And so I like didn't do it, which is like an extremely New England psychosis.
I was fully comfortable with stolen valor.
It's very cool. It was both heavier than I expected and substantially shinier than I expected. Okay. I think we've given this like a lot of good thought and intentionality. We've considered a lot of different angles. Why don't I'll count to 3 and then we all say the fastest animal we think we could outrun over a mile. 1, 2, 3. Mongoose.
Goat.
Gorilla.
You said gorilla. I said mongoose. Ian, what did you say?
I said goat.
Goat. Whoa.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's going to be a loud race. As the kind of guest host of this show, I'm not familiar with the format, and part of me is a little bit afraid that at this point, Harry, the producer, is going to come in and say, okay, we have a goat here. You have to race it one-on-one.
But I think I could do it. I picked something intentionally with small legs. Because I've got big legs, but I tire easily. And I was like, okay, mongoose feels energetic, but not especially built for the task.
We'll have to get you upgraded to my doodle at some point.
That's
we'll
right.
see what you can do, Josh.
All right, I'm trying to get up. That's my summer task, is getting up to doodle speed.
Just train your way up the food chain.
Jacob, thank you so much for this question. This was really fun, and it was so nice to meet you.
Good luck in your 5K.
Yes, thank you both.
Well, I feel like having answered that question definitively, I feel like it's kind of time to go to bed. Yeah,
I'm feeling very like satisfied and at ease with the conclusions of our conversation, and I'm gonna wish you a good night, Ian. Good night to all our listeners, and good night to Jacob's doodle. Sleep well, doodle.
And I'm going to say goodnight to the mongoose, which you will be racing shortly after we turn off here.
I hope it gets a bad night's sleep because we got a competition in the morning.